Hey, yo guys, what's up and welcome back to Toe Tags Metal Reviews. And today you're getting our final review of Primeval Obsession Detachment by Tallah. So I don't know why I have such a hard time saying the title of this album. It's not that complicated.
It's a weird one.
It's weird, but it is what it is. Primeval, then you got Obsession, Detachment, which could be attributed to the first half and the second half of the album.
I think that's pretty clear.
That's pretty clear. I think I want to just hand the floor to you right off the bat because I don't know where to start.
It's tough because there's a lot in there.
There's a lot in there, and I don't know where to start. So I'm gonna make you do that, and I'll piggyback off you at a certain point.
I'm gonna do that by talking about the bonk.
Bonk gate. We're gonna talk about.
We're gonna open up the bonk gate here.
Yeah, I nicknamed it bonk gate.
So, at 147 and 202 of what we know in the chorus, you can hear what very much sounds like a bonk sound effect. Like a cartoon donk.
Yep.
Now, I remember looking at the comments on the music video. Someone mentioned it. The band responded saying it's just a pitched up 808. Like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. However, I think there might be a bit of confusion there because if you listen at that part, only for that chorus, it doesn't happen. None of that happens in the second chorus, or like the later chorus. You can hear in the background like a pitched up 808, kind of counting in a sense. It only shows up on that chorus. But like, I think it's on the of 2 or something. You very clearly hear donk. And I don't know, maybe it isn't even a bonk and it just sounds like one, but I think it does. When I noticed it, I thought it was hilarious and I would never unnoticed it. And every time I'd listen to the song, I would go just every time.
It sticks out like a sore thumb. Like, I don't know how anybody can not notice it. I noticed it months ago. Like when the single was out and I was listening to it on Spotify, I'm like, what the hell is that? And that thing in the background that you mentioned, that to me sounded like a metronome. And it sounded like the bonks. The bonks are basically at the beginning and the end of the metronome. They don't line up perfectly, but the 2 bonks that happen, there's like a click almost playing metronomically in the background. It's subtle, it's very like almost hard to hear, but it's fucking there. And I think it's weird, but the bonks are completely out of place.
I thought they're funny. But to comment on that, they did not track this album with a click. Like this was recorded basically on the floor.
They say that.
It kind of sounds like one there, but I clocked the song. It sounds live.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's at 120, but you can hear it hover and waver around that
100%.
Click.
You can tell.
Like,
you can tell.
It very clearly.
And it's very good.
Like
it's very good.
No, it's so tight. Like the fact that the whole album was tracked like that, the band is tight as fuck, and that's really impressive.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's the bonk thing. I just wanted to bring that up. You know, just
the bonks.
Okay.
The bonks are weird. I don't know.
What we know
it
is a really, really strong contender for my favorite song in this album.
Yeah.
I love how crunchy it sounds when you really get to it with that riff.
Mm-hmm.
The chorus just sinks its jaws into you. Everything about this song is fantastic. The band released a studio interview. It was said in there that it was the first song written for the album, and I feel like there was a creative spark in there. You know what I mean? Just like, this is it. This is the first one. This is,
It feels like they worked the hardest on that song to make it good.
Yeah.
They really, really refined it to really nail it, and they fucking succeeded. Because, top of the album for sure.
It feels like such a well-crafted song in all ways. Another one that, in my opinion, feels very well-crafted is Depleted. Both of these songs got music videos, by the way. We reacted to both of them. The chorus of Depleted is an anthem, and I just belt it every time I hear it. Love it. This band is so good at giving their songs like personality and character to them, and that goes so many different ways, musically, lyrically. You know, like there's so much to these songs that make them feel individual.
Yeah.
There isn't really a Tallah album where a song is just song. It's got something to it that makes it an individual on the album.
Did you get any vibes or any like connection to Overconfidence on Depleted? Because there's one part specifically, it's leading up to the Brie. He does a Brie. I think he might do a couple on that song, but there's at least one of them, the first one maybe. There's a part that kept reminding me of Overconfidence. Like there's a part where if it was playing, I would just think of overconfidence in the way that song went. So I don't know if
I
you
didn't
had the
think
same
about that. No, but that's an interesting connection.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and you know, another thing that I love about, like, Depleted feels so pretty and poetic in it, but it also feels basically like really defeated, or rather depleted. Like it's got a sadness to it, which then you go from there into the explosive What We Want into the haunting 709. That like 3-track stretch is so like emotionally unstable.
It's like,
you know what I mean? That's a tough roller coaster to ride, because you're sad and then you're just like, and then 709 is like, man, it's over. Like, it's just over. And I will say 709 is a fantastic ending to this album, not only from the perspective of musically, like this band's really good at kind of hitting that near end album climax with like some crazy explosive song and then the rubble afterwards, you know. And 709 is just like, it's over, man. Like whatever happened, it's just so. And I think it's really fun to hear the band do like some really wacky creative thing like that. And I think it turned out really, really cool. So I think even though it's like 4 minutes, I love it every single time. And that's how you know it's a really, really good and effective outro, is that if it can be a long ass outro and I still love it after a whole week of grinding this album to hell, like, that's how you know it's effective. Another song, and this one actually grew on me a lot, is My Primeval Obsession. I remember when I first heard the song, I'm like, this is Tool. I'm just like, I'm like, it's Tool. But then so much of the song really started to grow on me. I started to think less of it like them just trying to do a Tool thing and more of like just another brush stroke of the album. And the atmosphere in the song really, really spoke to me. Like it's got like this, for me, like this open air, like a valley. Like that's kind of what the picture that it paints in my head. Like imagine the album art without that monolith there and like maybe different colors. That's kind of the picture that pops in my head when I hear this song as it goes. The solo section with the vocals in the background, oh my God, you're just out there in the valley, you can feel the wind. And what's also really cool about this breakdown is that it's a hemiola figure that straightens out into a duple time groove, which is really, really cool. I really, really like that. And then kind of slows down a little bit as it goes, which it's part of the organic feeling of the performance being, on the floor. Yeah. Another kind of neat thing that, based on the context, the coughing during that breakdown, when Justin screams, I think that's like totally genuine. And I think he even mentioned in the studio interview, like he was like, I did the whole thing in one take, organized the songs a certain way, and he's like, all I need to do is just get to Primeval Obsession and then I can cough because then I have a break. Yeah. So that's probably exactly what was happening there. And that's just a cool effect as well on it. Like you hear the coughing and it's like, that's straight up like he's actually.
Yeah, leave it in too. Don't fix it. Don't edit it.
Exactly. Like the rawness is there.
And it'd be genuine, yeah.
And I think that kind of thing, a lot of bands love doing that, right? There's so many albums where it's like, we went for something raw. Yeah. But you can't force it.
You can't force it.
This band, a big part of their identity is the rawness, but they're also such good and tight musicians that they can make a raw sound and still have it sound great. Yeah. It is really hard to do that and make it sound as great as it does. Like making the raw sound is not as simple as it might seem to make it effective.
I think these guys are actually very cultured musicians as well, in the sense that they didn't just grow up listening to metal. I feel like these guys grew up listening to a wide range of music, and that influence is bleeding through each and every one of them. And that's why this band sounds the way they do, and it sounds so eclectic. And you get so many different vibes and different things going on, of things that it's reminding you of and all this stuff. Like I mentioned when we reacted to Depleted that it had a little bit of a reggae type of vibe to it. I didn't quite feel that reggae vibe so much as I listened throughout the week, but there was something about the instruments at certain parts that was reminding me of No Doubt. The band No Doubt from the 90s or whatever. And they are, I believe, considered a ska band. And I'm thinking this has like a ska feel to it. And I think that may be where my reggae thing came from, because ska is also Jamaican and there's kind of a connection there. So I just thought that was interesting. I was like, and there's certain parts of this album that reminded me of like 90s grunge as well. Like, what was the one song I wrote? What's the same song? Sorry, Depleted. 90s grunge with a System of a Down spin on it is what I wrote.
Okay.
And I'm like, you know, you just kind of hear things. And I'm like, this is reminding me of that. It's reminding me of that. There's just a lot of really cool stuff going on. And Tallah just knows what they're doing.
Yeah, and I think the band is great at making individual moments as well. Like,
Yeah.
there's a scream in the start of Undone by Fate, a specific one, like at 47 seconds, basically right after the intro, just, like, I love that scream. Just the way that it comes in with just, it just starts, and it's just like cranked up to 11 already, and just, you know what I mean? Every single time, just like, Jesus, the scream, amazing. That's the main thing that really gets me with that song is that scream every single time.
It's like a hook. Once it has you, it doesn't let go.
Yeah, it's the kind of, and it's like once you notice it, you're like, damn, that's like, you keep noticing it, whether it is a scream like that or a bonk, you know, it just gets you every single time, you know. But if I were to pick a least favorite song, I think it would be that, because other than that, it doesn't. I mean, 501 is just kind of like an intro. I don't really count that.
Yeah, it's like an
it's just like a
interlude.
1
It's not
minute
really a song.
kind of thing.
It's not really a song. We count it as an interlude, not a
Yeah,
song. So.
but Undone by Fate, while good and has that cool moment, doesn't really stand out as well as other songs on this album, but it's still a solid song nonetheless.
I would have to agree with that being one of the weaker songs on the album. I do think there's some parts about it that are cool and unique. Like, there's one part, it sounds like a violin being played backwards. And there's also something that I can only describe as a rim shot, but it wasn't quite rim shot, but it was something similar to that. Maybe like a wood block that was modified or something. But
is the backwards violin, you mean at the start of Primeval Detachment?
No, this is in Undone by Fate.
Undone by Fate. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
This is Undone by Fate. There's stuff like this all over the album where you hear weird things. Primeval Detachment does have what sounds like a backwards violin or some type of like a creaking door or something.
At the start, yeah.
Yeah. So there's cool things like that going on. So listening to this album, I shouldn't say my goal, but one of the things I tried to do was figure out Lacuna.
Oh,
because Lacuna, well, just the way it's placed, the way it's phrased, like Lacuna in musical terms is like an emptiness in music. It's like a void in a song, like a gap basically. And this is not what that is, but it's also stylized to Lacuna as if it's two words. So
it's kind of like the bridge between the two halves of the album.
It is a bridge between the two halves, but there's no gap, right? A lacuna is a gap. It's like kind of like an exaggerated rest, where a rest is more like rhythmic. It's like you're expecting a rest.
Well, think about it this way.
Well, let me finish my point first,
yeah.
because I'm probably not onto anything, but this is where my detective work led me. And I'm probably way off, I'm probably wrong, but I'm gonna spit it out anyway.
All right.
So la is French for the, right? Kuna, I looked up the word, and it's a bit of a stretch, but it's basically the American Indian tribal people of the Republic of Panama. So a Kuna is a tribe.
Okay.
So I was wondering if that had some connections to the intro track and outro track, because they have those tribal kind of sounds and influences on them, where, 709 has that kind of primitive type sound, but layered on top there's like contemporary stuff, and it really kind of gives it a really full-bodied uniqueness to it. But I also dug into a little bit of like Justin's like heritage and stuff like that to try to feel like maybe if he was Native American or something like that, and trying to tap into that kind of stuff. And I couldn't find any information that verified that, but I just thought it was weird the way they had this phrase as La Cuna, and when I Googled it, that's what came up. Like a Cuna is basically a native tribe, so it sounds like the native tribe, but I don't know. I'm probably way off the mark, but I feel like it does mean something. The way that they stylize it like that.
I think that might be related to like the story elements of the tribe, from what I understand about the story that's there.
I never looked into the story. So what is the story exactly? Because I know there is one. I know there's something behind there, but I never.
The story hasn't been like super explicitly stated, but like from, what I've kind of read here and there based on what I'm kind of hearing in the lyrics, which it's kind of fun right now that nothing's been explicitly stated, because it's kind of like, look for it. It's
Figure it out, yeah.
It's like Dark Souls, where you just gotta look at the item descriptions and all this stuff and piece stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
There's an assassin and a nurse. I believe the elders of this alien planet they're on approached them and asked them to do a thing. I want to say the task is sacrifice this baby. There's like 2 babies. Sacrifice it for the whatever shadowy beings that are in control of this planet or something. And like one of them's like, oh, man, I guess I will. And the other one's like, no. And then I guess, you know, their stories intertwine and stuff I guess probably goes wrong.
How is it? Does tribalism fit into there?
Well, yeah, because I'm pretty sure if we were to look at it that way, it would be because this is the tribe of the elders, like the people that are getting them to trying to get them to do these things. It's like to appease this shadowy thing or whatever.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
okay.
If you were to apply it that way, it would work that way.
Yeah.
I mean, what's especially cool about all this stuff is the double meanings that's in this band's writing. Like, all of it is that obviously there is a concept, yes. It always goes beyond that. And that goes for any music, any musical storytelling at all. Like, any concept album is gonna have, obviously, the story and then what you can make of that, right? So, you know, and I've been hearing this from this band since Metrifugy. It's like, obviously, like, yeah, here's the story, but it's like, oh man, this song really speaks to me because I can hear this, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I find a lot of relatability in a lot of these lyrics. I find a lot of the messages, and I think it's great. And I think it's awesome that you got a lot of really deep messages, a lot of very strong expression. I know this album in particular was a lot, you know, more personal for Justin when he wrote it. And I think it's really cool that he's able to do that and attach an interesting narrative to go along with it. It's really cool that that's possible, and I think, you know, it's 3 for 3 in terms of like the writing, like lyrically, like it's just been consistently great since the start, and I love that.
Yeah, I agree. So just to talk about a couple of things that I liked about the album, other than just trying to dissect Lacuna and what it means for the album. But I do have a lot of notes about what, you know, different things I liked and stuff like that. So I'm just going to touch on a few of those things. We mentioned this already before in the reaction to Augmented, but I just want to talk about it again. The bled that turns into the DJ scratch is such a flair. It's just such a really cool thing that happens.
So cool.
As Fate undoes, the next track after that, there's actually a DJ scratch solo in this song, which you don't hear very often, DJ solos. I thought that was really cool. I thought it was really nice. They add what I believe is a violin and a cello at the end of the song. I thought that was a really nice touch to cap the song off. I really love the drum pattern in the verses. Has a really new metal vibe to it, which a lot of these songs do.
Yeah.
It's kind of their nature. My Primeval Obsession, you said it grew on you. I liked the song right away. I thought it was amazing. I loved how instrumentally jarring it is. It's very polyrhythmic. It's got odd time signatures all over the place. I didn't even bother trying to count it. I was just too busy just enjoying it. And it's just, there's a lot of passion in Justin's voice on this song. I really feel like it hit home for him in some way. But I just really loved how jarring it is. It feels like it sounded like there's someone on the verge of a breakdown in a sense. And I really love all the emotion that's put into a song like that. Where in contrast, on Primeval Detachment, this song comes in and it's unnerving, right? You got one song that's kind of jarring and then one song that's kind of unnerving. Both of them are negative feelings, but in completely different ways. And I thought that was really unique too. And I feel like these songs complement each other for obvious reasons. The Taco Cat and, you know, same thing backwards, whatever, palindrome. And, you know, the scratchy, creaky noises at the beginning while the kick is pounding away, it just makes me go, oh, like what the fuck? It's just really cool stuff. I like the ad-libs Justin does, right? A few little things, you know, like, oh, and stuff like that. Like, I can't do it like he does, but nice little breeze and stuff like that. But they're more like, sometimes they're squealy, sometimes they're gutturally. So, like, not even his breeze are the same, right? There's different, he's like, I've got a range of breeze, and he does different ones at different times. Really cool stuff there. Moving on, later on, we kind of already talked about Undone by Fate. We talked about Depleted. Actually, you know what? In Undone by Fate, there was a lyric that I liked, and it's not what you did, it's how it's perceived. But when they chase you, be light on your feet. I thought that was a really great lyric, especially in today's kind of political climate in the world, basically. People seem to care more about how your actions look than what you actually did. And I think that is a strong lyric that kind of reflects that. And they're inevitably going to start to criticize you, and you need to be adaptable. You need to be able to be quick, to not get socially trapped, not get a bad reputation, basically not get canceled. And, you know, it's because everybody's got a different opinion. And I think this lyric is kind of reminiscent of that. At least that's how I took it. But I thought that was a really good lyric. It's repeated a bunch of times in the song, and it really kind of hit home in that sense.
That lyric is actually on both sides. Like, that's in As Fate Undoes as well. But what's cool is that in As Fate Undoes, it's not what you do, it's how you perceive. It's how it's perceived. In Undone by Fate, it's not what you did, it's how it's perceived.
Oh, okay.
It's past tense. So it's like, oh, okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's and that is throughout this entire album. Like, both sides will reflect each other lyrically for sure.
Yeah.
Musically, they do that as well. They do recapitulations of stuff. I really love With What We Want. Love that song, by the way. Holy fuck.
Yeah, What We Want is good.
Crazy, explosive, basically ending, because the last song is like the weird stuff. I love that they took the concepts introduced in What We Know and they reworked them. Especially, like, they even took the main riff and turned it into a breakdown at the end. You know what I mean? Like, It's like, how can we take this riff and transform it into new versions of it, especially in the reflective side, which you said palindrome. And for a while I was thinking palindrome, but then I thought about it. I'm like, well, you know what? I think it's a reflective album rather than a palindrome.
You said palindrome last week.
I know, I did. And I thought about that, and I'm like, I don't think I feel that way anymore. And here's why. And palindrome would imply that it goes both ways, right? Which you would kind of think so because of how it's set up. But then I listened to the album backwards, because I thought, there are some albums that are actually made that way, that are made to be able to be listenable backwards and forwards. Only one I can think of off the top of my head is Damn by Kendrick Lamar. He made that album to be able to go back and forth. So I'm like, okay, does this work better the other way around? I think it's really difficult to do that musically. I think lyrically it may work.
Sure.
But I listen to the album from back to front, and I don't think it fits the same way. And I think a big part of that is because stuff in the first half is like the introduction to these ideas, and then it's reworked into like a more messed up version in the second half. So it kind of feels weird to start
feel
with
more like a reflection in that sense. Yeah.
Exactly. So it feels more like a reflective album.
Yeah.
Even like, remember when I mentioned last week about the album art, how you could spin it upside down?
Yep.
I didn't realize that the word Primeval, you spin it upside down, you can actually see the name Tallah in there as well when it's upside down. I'm like, that's cool as well. So
yeah, those are pretty cool things too.
Yeah, that was just a thing I noticed. I'm like, I don't know if it's as much of a palindrome as it is a reflection. You know? So
just cool stuff either way, no matter how you slice it or how you interpret it or look at it. You can't deny the creativity that went into it.
100%.
That's the goldness of it.
The only thing I guess I could really have hoped for is that the album was longer. Because if you cut out the intro and the outro track, it's like a 37-minute album. Both of the other two albums were like an hour. But it's impressive that an album like this one can be much shorter and still have so much content in it.
Yeah.
So, that's really good.
So what do you think?
I guess
you ready to rate it?
I think we should rate this album.
All right. I guess I'll go first since you're looking at me. So yeah, I like this album. It's Tallah doing what Tallah does. Good stuff. I gave Metrifugy a toe tag. The Generation of Danger didn't get a toe tag for me.
It was close, I think.
It was close because it's still a great album. This band kind of doesn't miss, but just some strong, some not as strong. There's a lot of stuff on this album. I love the vocal, like I mentioned, the ad-libs, the performances, the bass presence on this album is stellar.
Oh, yeah.
There's cool things like slams on this album. There's references to 90s music. There's, just all kinds of really cool and really well put together and intricately woven things going on. I give so much credit to the DJ for all the stuff he did on this album. It really fills the sound and creates a lot of body in the music and really makes it enjoyable, and you're listening to it and all these new things are always popping up every single time. It's easily a toe tag album for me. This is one of my highlight albums of the year so far. Tallah just nailed it. I listened to this album so much this week. I could not get enough of it. And I just basically had it on repeat as much as I could because I just couldn't get enough of it. And
we both clocked like at least 1,800 minutes worth into this album.
I listened to it 51 times.
Yeah,
So that was my thing. And you know what? That's not even my most listened to album of the year. It's my third most listened to album of the year.
wild.
Which is kind of crazy. But other albums are shorter.
That's true.
Right? So lengthwise, if I did some math and factored it in, I think this might take the cake. But there was a couple other albums that got a few more plays than this one, but this was up there. On average, I do about 30 to 35 plays a week for an album. This got 51.
That's heavy.
Which is heavy, and I didn't get bored of it at all once.
Yeah.
Like, it's just that good. It's that entertaining, and every time I listened to it, I felt like I was discovering more new things and enjoying each song better than before, and it's just so good.
So I'll say, welcome back, Tallah, to the two toe tag list. It's very obviously a toe tag for me.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty easy to tell. A lot of ways, I loved the album. They've technically had a perfect score with me. I've given all three of their LPs, which we've reviewed all of them, a toe tag with good reason. All three of them are sick. All three of them are creative, different, new. You don't find bands like this. You don't find albums like this very often. I think it's so carefully crafted. There's awesome influences. There's intriguing parts and things that will stand out, things that will just grab your ear in so many different ways. You know, they've done it again. And I think I even said this last week, like this band, it's always something different, but it's still them. So like all three of those albums, they all sound so different. It's a completely different experience, but it's still the same band. And you can feel that. And I love that. And I love how this band's been consistently awesome. I can't wait for more. Loved this one and looking forward to what's next.
Yeah, anyways, guys, that's it for this review. A bit of a long one, but we had a lot to say. And to be honest, I got a lot of notes that I didn't even cover in this review because there was just so much. Like, and that's what makes a great album, I think, is when you can write a lot of notes and really have a lot of positive things to take away from it. It really shows, it really goes a long way. So kudos to Tallah, good job on the toe tag list again for the second time. Really good stuff. Anyways, guys, leave your thoughts down below and let us know what you guys think after listening to this album for a whole week. Let us know if you agree with our thoughts, if you have any interesting things you'd like to point out yourself about the album, sound off down below. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel. I'm Vile Self.
I'm TV Fish.
I'll see you guys in the next one. Keep those heads banging.